Hey guys, this is Brian Oberst, aka OBee. We're going to do a special sports talk show here today. I wanted to kind of give my take on the big news that's happened in the Big Ten. As we heard, UCLA and USC are coming to the Big Ten, and how I think that let's talk about how it impacts the football a little bit and what these two teams may bring to the table. If you want to throw some insight out there on what you think may bring to the basketball program or baseball program or what any other sports or anything, or other players that may jump out to you, or other coaches that may jump out. I'm going to kind of touch on a few and that kind of thing. But first, we're going to look at UCLA. So what does UCLA bring to the table for football? Well, they have won national championship in football way back in 1954 under Henry Russell Sanders. They've won 17 conference championships. The most recent ones were 2011, 2012, were their last two conference championships. That was under Rick Newsel. Their all-time, they've had 17 coaches since 1919. So they've had a lot of coaches. They've gone through a lot of different coaches, but that's okay. That happens in football and in all sports, really. Their all-time record is 613, 4 losses, and 37 ties. Their bowl record is 16 and 19 and 1. So maybe their bowl record could improve a little bit. If you're going to come to Big Ten, you kind of want to have a good bowl record. So hopefully they can kind of maybe improve on that as going forward. Their main rival is USC. They have one Heisman winner in Gary Bedman in 1967, 41 All-Americans, some memorable ones: Troy Aikman, Mercedes Lewis, Anthony Barr, Eric Kendricks, Cade McNown, Jonathan Ogden, and the head coach, Coach Dick Vermeil. As they talk about their coaches, some coaches that kind of stand out. Dick Vermeil went 15-5-3. Terry Donahue went 151, 74, and 8. Rick Newsenhouse, one that won their last two conference championships, went 21-29. Jim Moore went 46 and 30, and Chip Kelly is their current coach. He's 18 and 25. So there's some guys that will bring. So this UCLA is a team that will bring to the table. They're well coached by Chip Kelly, and I'm going to give you more insight on UCLA later, and now of course on USC. I just kind of want to talk about what they kind of bring to the table right now. So that's UCLA. That's USC or UCLA. I mean. Real fast, we're going to do USC, and then we're going to leave the floor open and kind of talk about that. Lincoln Riley is their current head coach. They are all-time record is 878, 354, 54 losses. Bowl record 34 and 20. They've claimed 11 national championships. Their most recent one was 2000. They had won 2003 and 2004. 39 conference titles, and their rivalries are Notre Dame and UCLA, and they consider Stanford a rival. And so they bring a real rich history to the table as well. So you know USC. This kind of thing. They're very well coached. Most notable players for them, Pete Carroll was the head coach for them. Their current coach is Lincoln Riley, and of course Pete Carroll went 13. He's won their national championships and stuff like that. Try to get to some other things here. O.J. Simpson, most recognized player, like a Charles White, Marcus Allen, Matt Leinart, Sam Darnold, Marquise Lee, Dwayne Jarrett, Keyshawn Johnson, Reggie Bush, of course, Carson Palmer. Some big names like staying out like that. Fred Davis, who's currently there. Mark Carrier, the safety. Ray Magluga. Their Heisman Trophy winners, of course, we know were Heisman winners here shortly. but they're, of course, we all know that John McKay won the head coaching of the year. Pete Carroll, of course. Trying to find their Heisman winners here, and then Heisman's Jim Sears, John Arnett, O.J. Anthony, Rick Bell won it. Or no. Heisman Trophy winners: Carson Palmer, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, Charlie White, Mike Garrett, O.J. Simpson, and Marcus Allen. So those were their the guys that won the Heismans. A lot of guys were in the voting and stuff like that that probably didn't possibly make it. But they are also a very a good football team, and they're going to bring a lot to the Big Ten as well. You know, I really believe they're going to be a lot to the Big Ten. Another thing I wanted to bring up to you here before we end this video, and then we'll kind of have some discussion on YouTube about what you guys think. UCLA is 3-8 against Michigan, 6-7 against Nebraska, 4-1 against Ohio State, 1-2 against Minnesota, 4-2 against Penn State, 7-4 against Wisconsin, 3-3 against Michigan State, 6-3 against Iowa, 1-1 against Maryland, 6-6 against Illinois. They have not played Indiana or Rutgers. They are 3-3 against Northwestern, 3-0-2 against Purdue. So there, I mean, overall, there's 47, 43-3 against the Big Ten. USC is 75-30-3. They are 13-10-1 against Ohio State, 11-2 against Illinois, 6-4 against Penn State and Michigan, 7-3 against Iowa, 6-1 against Minnesota, 4-4 against Michigan State, 6-1 against Wisconsin, 4-0 against Indiana, 5-0 against Northwestern. Haven't played Maryland or the Rutgers. They are 4-0-1 against Nebraska and 3-1 against Purdue. So again, you know, you look at it, you know, they both have fairly good, decent records against the Big Ten, and a lot of times that will bring, you know, that's good. You know, so they bring that to the table when it comes to football. You know, I think on paper it's good to have UCLA and USC on there. They both have really rich histories, very good coaches that have come through there. Some great alumni have come to those schools. So sometimes that benefits a lot how good a program is, and that's just in football. You know, I'd love to get your take on what you guys think about maybe you guys did something different you want to look at, how you see it, and maybe you don't think it's a good fit for these teams, or maybe you see some other teams that maybe come to Big Ten. How does this open up for other teams coming in? Do we see a team like Oregon or Washington or Notre Dame coming in, or West Virginia coming over here and stuff like that? Maybe a Cincinnati. Cincinnati probably not right now since they just went to the Big 12. But how do you see it open up? What teams would you not like to see come to the Big Ten? I personally don't want to see Oregon. Let's just see Oregon go somewhere else. Kind of shun Oregon. But you know, Lincoln Riley is the coach at USC, and now you got Chip Kelly at UCLA. So two iconic coaches that are pretty great coaches. They've had a pretty good track record for where they've been. So I think it definitely brings something. But like I said, what teams do you want to see come here or don't want to see, or what's your take on UCLA and USC coming to the Big Ten? I think it's good for the Big Ten. I think it'll be good for us to see how we kind of stack up against two teams that are pretty elite almost every year. You know, maybe not so much UCLA in the past. UCLA started to come back up, and USC started to come back up. So maybe that's so. You know, so it could be. I think it'll be good. I really do. I'd love to know what you guys' take is and kind of get your feedback, and we'll go from there and have a discussion as much as we can on there, and try to find ways where we can maybe have like a panel of people just kind of like talking back and forth, try to figure a way where we can maybe like Zoom something and we can like just talk about it that way, however you guys want to do this. But yeah, I love to get more feedback, more discussion about this, about what you think about UCLA and USC coming to the Big Ten. All right, this is OBee out and out of here because I got things I got to do, and I'm sure you got things you got to do. This is OBee out. Have a great one.